Okay, so as per that conversation of seated or standing, I'm going to demonstrate these exercises from seated and or from standing, and you could do either or. So this first exercise is an overhead tricep extension, which targets the long head of the triceps. Arguably, depending on what angle and what piece of equipment you use and what grip, you are going to target different parts of the tricep. So it's a very comprehensive exercise, and I would recommend that you incorporate at least one overhead tricep extension variation into your tricep workout. So first of all, I'm going to demonstrate with my favorite, which is using, well, I shouldn't say my favorite, but one that I typically instruct with new clients for the tricep extension. And the reason is with one dumbbell. And the reason for that is because it's going to ensure that your arms and humerus bones, upper arm bones, are tracking in the direction that we like consistently with one another. So I'm in a seated position. I'm making sure that I'm not tipping my pelvis too far forward. So I've got a slight tuck of my tailbone, my core is active, my upper arm bones, my humerus bones are right beside my ears or slightly in front of, but we want to avoid them going too far. I'm gazing ahead, feet are on the ground. As I bring my elbows into flexion, I lower the weight, doesn't have to go all the way down, bringing the weight all the way up, and that is the concentric phase. This is the eccentric phase as I lower down, exhale, as those tricep muscles shorten and engage. Now, as people get tired here, I see so many common errors. Elbows go out to the side. Okay, so that's a big no-no. Elbows drifting too far forward. And then you're basically doing more of the work in the deltoids rather than the triceps. And then again, really poor form in the torso. So stabilize, eyes straight ahead. That's another common error is people will do the head drop, the chicken neck. So eyes straight ahead, full range of motion, just past 90, and then that full recruitment on the way up. So that's variation one with a dumbbell. There's a similar variation that I would also suggest for people that are maybe working through imbalances or this is a new exercise, and that's grabbing a plate. Now this plate that I have, this is very big. It's only 10 pounds. But it's very, very wide. So this would be wider than what I would typically use at the gym if I had access to a smaller plate. Holding on to the plate, same idea, same foundation, eyes forward, bending at the elbows. See how my elbows drift out more on this one because the plate is wider. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just something to be mindful of, that the ideal, the preference when we're going through this exercise is that you're holding the plate in that same alignment so that you can stabilize the shoulders and just focus exclusively on the triceps chiastae. Okay, so those are the two variations that are going to work in a very similar way. The next variation is that you could use a bar. So this bar has about, that's 2.5K, so just over about 12, 15 pounds on here. So same idea. Now, as far as the grip goes, you can wrap the thumb under, but as you get more proficient, you could wrap the thumb over. They're just different ways to approach your grip. Arms up, eyes forward, and again, same flexion. Now, I don't love doing these with the bar. I find it creates instability through my shoulders, and my elbows tend to flare out a little bit more. Not a bad thing. Another variation at the gym that you could do, so you can try these for sure. It's a little bit more humbling, and trying all of these different variations is actually really helpful too, just to figure out what you like and what you don't like. But another option that you can use at the gym if you have it is the easy curl bar. The easy curl is the one that has the zip, zip, zip. I'll put in a picture in this video so that you can see it at the end. And that just angles those humerus bones in a way that just makes, for most people, that movement a little bit more accessible. And it also works well for the skull crushers, which I'm going to show you shortly. So those are your dumbbell extensions. And the last variation that I'll show you, again from seated, is with dumbbells. And you can hold them with an internally rotated grip, arms above the head, extend, bend and extend. Now, very difficult to keep the tracking, so this is a much more advanced or a slightly more advanced variation. You can also do one arm at a time if you're working through an injury and you want to isolate, and I would say this is actually more effective and more efficient than trying to do this with two dumbbells at a time. So that's the overhead dumbbell tricep extension. Very challenging. There's nothing wrong with using your other hand here as you hold it in place to stabilize and really isolate. You can really feel the muscle engaging, the muscle recruiting when you're going through that variation as well. So that's a little tutorial on your overhead tricep extensions, focusing primarily on the long head of the tricep, but depending on your grip and your angles, they can also incorporate